Namaste, I'm Alakananda Ma, Ayurvedic doctor and principal of Alandi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style Ayurveda school in Boulder, Colorado. Stop by, find out about the program, have a sample class, have some lunch with us. You can also get an appointment with me to talk about the program. Okay, so I was going to talk more about fiber today. Looks like we're putting that off till next week because there's a really big news flash about diet and cancer. So we just need to go over that. So essentially, with diet and cancer, there was a large study. This kind of study is called a meta-analysis. So it's a study of studies. And it was a meta-analysis involving almost 2 million people and looking at diet and cancer risk, comparing those people who were vegetarian with those who were eating meat. And the really great news is, if you're a vegetarian, vegetarians have reduced risk of 5 important cancers, and 3 of them are the big 3 really common cancers. Vegetarians have a 21% lower risk, per this study, of pancreatic cancer, a 12% lower risk of prostate cancer, and a 9% lower risk of breast cancer, also a 28% lower risk of kidney cancer, and a 31% lower risk of multiple myeloma. That's a less common cancer, but it's definitely something you don't want to get. That was independent of other factors like physical activity, body weight, smoking, alcohol, and the overall medical history. So, yeah, really great news for vegetarians. And that was based on 9 observational studies that took place in the UK, here in the United States, in India, and in Taiwan. Of course, in India, there were plenty of vegetarians to be in the study. One surprising thing, they did not see a reduced risk of colorectal cancer, and that's despite all the evidence linking processed meat and red meat to an increased risk of colorectal cancer, and plenty of whole grains and fiber, that's next week, fiber, to a protective effect. So we're not really quite sure, but they didn't separate out in these studies the types of meat that a person is eating. So you still want to stay away from processed meat because it is going to increase your risk of getting colorectal cancer based on other studies. Now, one thing that could be affecting the findings about colorectal cancer is the danger that we vegetarians are not getting enough riboflavin, also known as vitamin B2, because meat is one of the great sources of riboflavin. For those of us that are lacto-vegetarian, we're going to be fine because we can get our riboflavin on a daily basis from milk and yogurt. So consuming milk and yogurt in your diet, that is super important. If you eat eggs, that 3 times a week that I'm letting you eat eggs. If you eat eggs, then you also get riboflavin from your eggs. But vegans have a 40% greater risk for colorectal cancer than meat eaters. So again, part of that might be the riboflavin problem. Do take a riboflavin supplement. If you are vegan, that's going to be really important. Either that or make sure you have a good plate of leafy green vegetables on a daily basis because they're a nice source of riboflavin too. The other problem is dairy intake does reduce the risk of colon cancer. Not really sure why, but the suggestion is that it's calcium that's reducing the risk of colon cancer. So for that reason, if you are vegan, make sure you're taking a good calcium supplement as well as taking a riboflavin supplement that will help to reduce your risk of colon cancer. And again, if you're having a good plate of leafy dark greens that you're able to eat, chew, and digest on a daily basis, that's going to help with your calcium intake too. Or having some gamasio or some dry sesame chutney on your food. You can find other ways to increase the calcium, but be thinking about your calcium intake. But overall, really, really great news. And even if you're not vegetarian and you're pescatarian, you do eat fish, but you have cut out the red meat and poultry, you're still going to have a reduced risk of these top cancers compared to meat eaters. So there we go, some very good news for vegetarians and vegans, and a few things that we need to watch out for. Okay, so if nothing else comes up as a big news flash, we'll be talking again about fiber next week, the importance of the type of fiber, the source of fiber that you're getting. So don't forget to click the like button, follow the channel if you're not already, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. We'll see you again next week. Namaste.